Hello and welcome to Physics Teacher. I got a problem for grade 12 physics that one of my viewers asked me to solve. So let's go through it and solve it together. Alright, so this problem, we have an object with mass m connected to a vertical axle, as we can see here below. So here's the object connected to a vertical axle with two massless inextensible strings of length L. Okay, so we don't have to consider the force of gravity on the strings. That's why it says massless and inextensible, meaning we don't have to worry about any type of elastical energy either. Okay, each making an angle of 45 degrees with the axle. So this here is the axle. The mass is revolving with a tangential speed v. So what's happening here is the mass is sort of going around like this, if you can visualize that. And gravity is directed downwards. I don't know why that was required in the question, of course. And then find the tension in the upper and lower strings. So each of these strings will have a force of tension in it. We need to find them. All right, so this is a question that involves forces and circular motion. And it's a tricky one because high school students don't typically like questions that don't give numbers. They like working with numbers. And this one question is not even asking for a number as an answer. It wants an expression of the tensions. So we have two tensions, and it looks like to be a nice symmetrical problem. So let's just call the upper tension T1, and this tension we'll call T2. So we need to find those. And then we need to do it in terms of mass. So they give us mass in terms of length of the string and in terms of speed. All right, so let's get started. Since this is circular motion, remember centripetal acceleration is always directed towards the center of the circle. So this is going to be, if our mass is right here to start, this is going to be the direction at that location of centripetal acceleration. And so what we're going to do is we're going to split both of these tensions into components, and we're going to look at the components that provide right here. Let's call this T1x. It'll also be T2x, but will provide that centripetal force. So when we analyze this, we have all the forces that contribute to centripetal force will be equal to mass times centripetal acceleration. Now we have gravity acting on the mass. We'll call this mg, but gravity is perpendicular to centripetal acceleration, so will not be one of those forces. The only forces are your two components. So we have T1x and T2x, both directed inwards, so both positive values. Okay, as a hint, I've probably mentioned in a lot of my videos, when choosing your coordinate system, always choose the direction of acceleration to be your positive direction. So that makes these two tensions positive. And that'll equal mass, and our equation for centripetal acceleration with speed will be v squared over r. Now we can put T1x and T2x in terms of tension and angle. So if we do that, if we look at the angle, we can say the sine of 45 is equal to opposite, so T1x, over hypotenuse, so T1. And when we multiply both sides by T1, we get T1x is equal to T1 times the sine of 45. And we can do the same thing for T2. And it's actually going to be the same because this is a nice symmetrical problem. So this will be plus T2 times the sine of 45. And that is still equal to mv squared over r. So the problem with this is I have one equation with two unknowns, T1 and T2. So how are we going to solve for this one? So we are also going to apply Newton's law in our vertical component, right? The direction that gravity is in here. Now, since it's going around in a perfect circle, it's not moving up or down. So all the forces in y will be equal to 0 because the acceleration in y is equal to 0. So we have a few components. Let's just make up positive. So in this case, we will have right here, we'll have T1y that will be up. Then over here, we'll have T2y, which will be down. So we're going to have T1y, subtract T2y, and then subtract gravity, which is mg, and that's going to equal 0. So just as we did before, we can solve our right angle triangle using our trig ratios, and we will get T1y to be T1 cos 45. And then T2y is going to be T2 cos 45. And we can add gravity to both sides of the equation. We'll just have this equal to mg. All right, so here we have two equations. Let's call this equation 1 and this equation 2, and two unknowns, T1 and T2. Now, another technically unknown variable is r. The reason why this is unknown is because it doesn't say we're given this variable. We're given length instead. But that's no problem, because this here, this part of our triangle, is r. So we can figure out what r is in terms of L and our angle. So we're just solving another right angle triangle, where we will have the sine of 45 degrees is equal to the opposite, r, over hypotenuse, L. So r just equals L sine 45. So this equation we can simplify a little bit. So instead of r, let's replace r, L sine of 45. And that can actually help us to simplify this a little bit. So if I factor out a sine of 45, we will have sine of 45 times T1 plus T2 is equal to mv squared over L sine 45. And then I can divide both sides by sine of 45, and so we'll have T1 plus T2 is equal to mv squared over L times the sine of 45 squared. And now if you want to simplify that even further, because you're grade 12 students, you know some of these identities and your special angles, we know that the sine of 45 is equal to 1 over root 2. So the sine of 45 squared, then, if we square both sides, that's just equal to 1/2. And so we can replace the sine of 45 squared with just a half. So we have T1 plus T2 equals, and when we have a half on the denominator, we can just have that as a 2 up above. So we have 2 mv squared over L. Now there are lots of ways to solve two equations for two unknowns. This is just the way I'm going through it right now as I run through this problem. Now one thing we can do to solve these two equations with two unknowns is we can subtract a T2 from this side. So we have T1, and then substitute that in for T1 there, and this rearrange the equation to isolate for T2. But what I'm looking at is something a little bit simpler. So let me go over to equation 2 and do the same thing I did here, and I'll factor out the cos 45. So cos 45, and then we have T1 minus T2, which equals mg. And so if I divide both sides by cos 45, we get T1 minus T2 equals mg over the cos of 45. And we know the cos 45 is the same as the sine of 45. It's just 1 over root 2. So I can replace this with T1 minus T2 is equal to root 2 times mg. And now what I'm going to do, so this is equation 2, let me just write equation 1 below it. So we have T1 plus T2 is equal to 2mv squared over L. So what I'm going to use is a process called elimination. Students usually prefer substitution, but I'm just seeing elimination as being a little bit easier here, because if I add both of these equations together, what happens is T2 cancels. And what I end up with is we have 2T1. Hopefully I have enough space to finish this. And then we just have root 2 mg plus 2mv squared over L. And then if I just divide by 2, let's just continue this way. If I divide by 2, we will get, therefore, T1 is equal to, so we have root 2 over 2 mg. And then when I divide the other term by 2, that 2 just goes away, so plus mv squared over L. So there is an expression for T1 that involves the variables of mass, speed, and length. Now it also has g, but we know this is just gravity, that's just 9.81. Then what we have to do is solve for T2. So this is where we can use a substitution. And so what I will do here, I'm going to need an eraser. And I can take this T1 and substitute it right into there. And I'll write this over here. So when I substitute that in for T1, we get root 2 over 2 mg plus mv squared over L. And then we have the plus T2 is equal to 2mv squared over L. So then when I bring these two terms to the other side of the equation, notice that this term here is just like this term here, except I'll have two of these and I'll subtract one of these, so I'll just be left with one of them. So we'll have T2 equal to, so we have mv squared over L, one of them left over, and then subtract root 2 over 2 mg. So there's our equation for T2. And as you can see, this is why students in grade 12 typically do not like this, but it will seriously improve your ability with algebraic equations and rearranging equations using things like substitution, elimination, your trig ratios, sometimes even trig identities, anything you can do to sort of clean things up a bit. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments. And if you would like any of my materials that I use for my classes, they're available for free down in the descriptions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.